Lion, and this is the Mind and Mana channel here on YouTube. I call the channel Mind and Mana because I believe there's a connection between what we think about and what we're able to experience. I know that whatever we think about expands, gets bigger, becomes more present and real. And I also believe that God provides something for us every day. We just have to be willing to get off our dusties, our bumpties, and go after it. It's there for us. And when we put our mind together with our action and our effort, amazing things can happen. This channel centers the voices of Black women over 55 or women who are thinking about retirement, regardless of how old you are, and who want to know more about ways to save money and maximize your money, women who want to improve their finances so that they can live up to a more intentional way of life that includes freedom, rest, travel, and ease. And I'm Sonia Folayan. I started this channel about a year ago or so um, uh, because this is what I wanted someone to share with me. I was at retirement age and I didn't have what I needed to have or what I was socialized to believe I needed to have at retirement. Um, and I also made the decision to leave the country. I live in Mexico now, the vast majority of the year, except for when I'm visiting my family in the States and handling some business there. But I discovered a whole universe out here beyond what we have typically been socialized to believe is possible. So if looking at money and figuring out ways to live a more intentional way of life that includes freedom, rest, the freedom to travel, and a softer life of ease, then please, please, please subscribe to this channel, like the channel, comment, and share the information. So I just try to do a live on on today's topic, which is 5 reasons why Black women should reevaluate our relationship with work. There was a lot of freezing and technical difficulties with that. So the request was that I would do it again, and so I'm going to do it here in this fashion on YouTube. Let's see what else is there that I need to say. Like, share, subscribe. Reason for the channel. I think I said that this channel does center the voices of Black women. I hope that whoever listens to this channel is able to glean some information and find value in it. But I also find it's very important, especially now, to have safe spaces where Black women can talk about, where we can talk about our issues, work together to solve them. I really believe that when we are all working together at our best, healed and empowered, then we can all be tremendous forces in helping to solve the problems of society. So let me get started with what I wanted to say today. 5 reasons why Black women should reevaluate our relationship with work. All right, number 1. The intersection of race and gender often results in our being undervalued and underpaid in the workplace. And that is relative to our non-Black counterparts. And this is well documented and well researched. So think about the implications of this. What does it mean to a group of people or to a family or to a community or to our society at large when people are really not being paid what they're worth, or they're having to undergo a lot of additional microaggressions just trying to get their everyday work done? What is the impact of that? Not only on the workplace, the relationships that we forge in the workplace, what we're able to contribute to these companies, but what can be the long-term effects or the short-term effects on the family, on marriages, on our communities. So we need to really look at what does this mean when we're experiencing these things in the workplace on an ongoing basis, and what are the long-term effects of that? The second thing is Black women are typically expected to take on more unpaid tasks outside of the household, such as caregiving, uh, and household tasks, family tasks, church tasks, volunteer efforts. We're oftentimes expected to volunteer, give our service, give our opinions, give our ideas without any remuneration for that. Historically, Black women have often had to take care of their own households and someone else's household too, across town. Um, Expected to give up holidays, family time, to care for and maintain other households. Um, the effect of this, of course, is burnout, oftentimes depression, overwork. We already live in a sleep deprived society as it is. So the long term effects of this are to health, to well being, to being able to fully devote the time and love and attention to our families that our families deserve, that we deserve. Oftentimes, diminished self care because of these expectations. So it's incumbent upon us to really start evaluating and questioning and reassessing the cost of these expectations and what can we do to begin to enforce more boundaries. The third thing is the historical legacy of slavery and discrimination has created systemic barriers to our economic mobility. And oftentimes that makes it necessary for us to seek alternate employment or additional employment on top of the employment we're already doing for another company. Oftentimes it drives us to entrepreneurship. Now, I'm all for entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship is a good thing. But the question is, how are we getting there? Are we being forced into it? Um, does that take away some of the time and planning that we could do if we had more long range thoughts about how we would do entrepreneurship? What would be available to us if we had time to plan more? Or are we having to start businesses on the fly because we're not making enough at work, or because we're stressed out at work, or because whatever the reasons are. So I'm all for entrepreneurship. I think we should be funding and creating our own businesses, creating wealth for ourselves and our families, because as we're working for other people, we're creating wealth for them. Don't get me wrong, a job can be a wonderful blessing. Entrepreneurship, I think, is best. But how are we entering into our entrepreneurial endeavors? The fourth thing is we really have to think about the impact of COVID-19 on our families and on our economics. The COVID pandemic disproportionately impacted Black women's employment and financial stability. Many Black women and brown women were in frontline positions, first responders. Uh, we felt the impact of COVID in so many ways, in terms of the family members that we lost, in terms of the lack of safety in which we were required to work, the burnout, the depression, the economic ravages of oftentimes being the first ones to be fired, or just the rampant unemployment as businesses and jobs shut down. We were really disproportionately affected by all of that. And it's going to take a while. First of all, we were already, as a group, economically disadvantaged. Of course, there are always exceptions. I'm not talking about the exceptions. I'm not talking about the women making, 6 and 7 figure incomes. I'm talking about middle income workers, those in the middle who are and found themselves being squeezed out of employment, also having to take care of their families during this time, having to homeschool their children while trying to manage jobs. The effects were profound. We have to really consider the effect of that going forward. What does it mean? How do we need to reevaluate and reconfigure our lives? The last thing I want to say is that redefining and reevaluating our relationship with work can lead us to a more holistic and fulfilling experience that allows us to be able to center our healthcare, our self-care, our healthcare, and our well-being. That will now enable us to actually be better members of society, more present forces within our homes, able to listen to our children better. It'll make us be less stressed out in terms of our marriages. Um, it'll allow us to really start thinking about what does our professional and personal growth look like, and how can we nurture that so that we can be better. So these are some reasons why we have to reevaluate our relationship with work. We have to reevaluate our relationship with rest. We live in the United States. We're in a sleep deprived grind culture, which expects us to work as mechanized beings or be replaced by a mechanized entity. Um, that grind culture grinds away at our humanity, at our softness, at our ability to relate and to respond to one another. So it's time. The pandemic brought about a sea change in just about every aspect of our lives. It's also time for us to reevaluate what our work looks like, how we're going to navigate, how we're going to make a living, how we're going to take care of ourselves in the midst of all this change. Listen, if you're interested in taking a deep dive into what your rest and your relationship with your money, your relationship with your work life, I want you to consider coming to the retreat that we're having here in Mexico in January. We're going to have it in Mexico, which is a magical town. We're going to center it at a wonderful place called the Garden of Dreams, where you will have a chance to work on your dreams, what it looks like to live, ease. What I've been able to do for myself and for my family, you can do too. You need to just step out of where you are a little bit and have a chance to unplug and unhook and recondition, replenish your mind and your soul with wonderful food, with a nurturing experience, a chance to unplug and to sojourn for yourself. Whether you're going to whether it's a career break that you're thinking about, whether it's uh, um, a soul recharge session. We're having a retreat January 25th through 29th here in Mexico. We still have a few spaces left. Um, if you're interested in coming down and joining us, if you're interested in a transformative experience, if you're willing to come in one way and leave another, then this is going to be the experience for you. If you're willing to come in and reevaluate what your life and your work relationships look like and come out willing to take that softer life, to have a softer life for yourself, come and join us. You can get information by emailing me at sunyafolayan@csunya.online. That's SUNYAFOLAYAN at csunya.online, at SEESUNYA dot online. Also, if you're interested in subscribing to my newsletter, email me at that same address. or hit me up on Instagram or Facebook under Mind and Mana, and I will respond with that information. If you want information about the retreat, you could also reach out to me on social media, and I will send the information out to you. We still have a few spots left. This is going to be an intimate, empowering session. We're bringing in all kinds of professionals from the area for those of you who are interested in coming to Mexico for an extended break, or maybe you're thinking about coming to Mexico for part of the year, or maybe you're thinking about leaving the US altogether and coming to this part of the world to live, or if you want to travel and visit various places. We're bringing in all sorts of professionals to tell you what life is like here, in addition to my sharing my experience, and my partners, my business partner, Donna Jones, she'll be sharing her experience with living here as well, what it's been like for us, how transformative it has been. Um, but we're bringing in all sorts of people from the local area to share with you what it's like in this part of the world. We're also going to do a real estate tour. So we'll have people from the legal profession, the medical profession, end of life care, um, art community. You'll get a chance to meet and really get your feet wet. But this is going to be a transformative experience, and I really invite you to come and check it out. So again, that's Sonia Folayon at csonia.online. Um, Thank you so much for listening today. Please like, subscribe, and share if you have found this of interest. And I hope to see you again very soon. All right. Take care. Bye bye.